That was how we want to see the Bulls play. That's how you ensure you're going to win games consistently, when you play offense, moving the ball around, spacing the floor, crashing the boards, and actually hitting your shots. That also helps, of course. But here's the thing. I'm not going to get excited just yet, because we saw this way too many times last season, where the Bulls would have these great games here and there, and you would think, okay, they've figured it out. And then they would go on to lose 3 straight with stagnant offense and the guys not playing with effort and energy. I need to see this consistently before I even start changing my mind on this team and thinking they've somehow maybe are going to turn things around and finally figure out how to play together. Like, I need to see the Bulls be at least 4 or 5 games above 500 before I feel like they have something going here. But this game is at least a small step in the right direction. Let's just hope it's not 1 step forward and 2 steps backward like we saw a lot last season. But so many takeaways from this game, so many season highs the Bulls set tonight. Season high of 130 points in regulation, 18 threes, not 18 threes attempted, 18 threes made. The Bulls shot 18 for 34 from deep, 53%. Talk about helping your overall average as a team when you were one of the worst three-point shooting teams by percentage at barely over 30%. Bulls shot over 51% from the field overall, their best shooting night on the season by far and away. The first where they outscored their opponent from the three-point line. The Jazz still made 16 threes, that's a lot. They went 16 for 43, and the Bulls made more on fewer attempts. The Bulls also, for the first time, got to the free throw line more times than their opponent, getting to the foul line 19 times. And the Bulls also 26 assists, another season high, which isn't crazy high, but for a team when they went into tonight averaging 21 assists per game, which was second to last in the league, yeah, that's saying something. Also a season high of 12 steals for the Bulls. Just an all-around fantastic game for this team on offense. Now granted, it was against one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. I didn't even realize this until they showed this stat during the game, but the Jazz have the longest active streak for allowing over 100 points to their opponent for over 90 games. But whatever. I'll take it. I'm just glad the Bulls were able to take advantage of a team that they're clearly better than, and a team that is bereft of defense. And rather than the Bulls letting it just be a shootout type game to see who can just score more points, they actually played solid defense as well, hounding the Jazz on the perimeter, forcing so many turnovers, drawing charges. The Jazz had 22 turnovers in total tonight compared to the Bulls' 8. Bulls lead the league in turnovers, by the way. Let's not forget about that. And the Bulls took full advantage, capitalizing on those turnovers by outscoring the Jazz 30-1 in points off turnovers. Like, it's not hard to see. Good things happen when you play with purpose. You attack the paint, space the floor, play hard-nosed defense, and turn that defense into offense. Now, the Bulls aren't going to shoot 50% or over 50% from 3 every night. That's not going to happen. But we also talked about how their poor shooting to start the season likely won't persist. Eventually, things will regress to the mean. And if the Bulls can even get to a place where they're near league average from 3, because we know they're never going to be lights out 3-point shooting team, but if they can get close to league average, and then do what they can as it relates to attacking the paint, getting to the foul line, playing tough defense, things the Bulls actually are good at when they try. If they can maintain all of that over the course of the season, then they'll be in good shape to find themselves into the playoffs and being competitive. Not saying they're going to be winning a title, they're not even close to being a title team, even with everything going right, but at least a competitive and fun team that will be enjoyable to watch as fans on a nightly basis. Lauri Markkanen's return to Chicago is spoiled yet again. He plays very well whenever he goes up against his former team, but the Jazz have come up short in every matchup they've faced against since Markkanen joined that team. I believe he did win 1 game against the Bulls when he was with the Cavs, but the Bulls swept the Jazz last season, and of course they beat them tonight. You know, the Bulls had 130 points, but it was a very well-balanced scoring night. You didn't have DeMar or Zach putting up a combined 80 points between them. Zach finished the game with 24 points on 8 for 17 shooting, a much better game from Zach compared to what we've seen recently, even on the defensive end as well. DeMar, a very efficient scoring night for him, 21 points on 8 for 13 shooting, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. See, what I love about DeMar is that he isn't forcing things as much on offense like we're used to seeing. Yes, he still has his moments from time to time where he's taking his man one-on-one in isolation and puts up a very difficult contested shot. But as I've said before, he has been more deferential in getting other guys the ball and hasn't been needing to put up over 20 shot attempts in a game. Vucevic tonight, a little quieter on offense, and let's be real, kind of got outworked by Walker Kessler on the glass. Kessler had 11 offensive rebounds alone and 15 in total. That said, Kessler, despite only being a second-year player, is actually one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, as well as one of the best shot blockers in the NBA. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw my tweet earlier in this game. I still don't think I'll ever be able to forgive AK Mark Eversley for drafting Dalen Terry over Kessler. What's funny is that I actually thought for sure they were going to take Kessler at 18 right after their guy Tari Eason was selected by the Rockets, because Kessler fit a position of need at that time for the Bulls. The Bulls, they needed size, they needed a backup center. This was before they signed Andre Drummond, and above all, they needed rim protection, which they still do need, and Kessler was one of the best shot blockers college basketball had ever seen. But anyway, tangent aside, I regress. Vooch had a decent game. He was doing other things on the court outside of just scoring, and it's why he finished with a team high plus 18 on the night. And then Coby White, a great game for him. Not only did he finally get out of his shooting slump, scoring 18 points on 7 for 9 shooting and 4 for 9 from 3, but he was facilitating and running the offense like we've needed from him as a starting point guard. Finished the game with 7 assists, I believe that's a season high for him, and only 1 turnover despite his usage, which is great to see. And then the other guy, I cannot emphasize enough just how impactful he's been on both ends of the floor coming off the bench, is Jevon Carter. He's really found his rhythm in shooting it from 3, which we all knew that he could do. It's a big reason why the Bulls brought him in, but it's also the manner in which he gets his shot off. Coming down the court, off of a steal, and getting a 3 quickly in transition before the defense can situate themselves. And just that smooth touch and release, that could be a big come up for the Bulls if Carter continues to shoot it like that consistently. And you cannot underestimate just how pesky he is on defense. I love it. Love everything about what we've seen from Jevon Carter thus far. Tonight he finished 4 for 8 from 3. How about Andre Drummond getting his 10,000th career rebound? Big congrats to him. And aside from another ill-timed breakaway layup that he missed point blank, he had a solid game, 12 points, 7 rebounds, as well as a steal and a block. And then Patrick Williams, I don't know if I could call it his best game of the season thus far just yet, but it was definitely a confidence builder for him, putting up 10 points and some efficient shooting. He had that deep 3 that he hit with ease, was more active on the boards overall, though I'd like to see him grab more rebounds than just 3 for his size and position, but I'll take it day by day with Williams. His shooting eventually will start picking up. No way he stays around 30% like he's been shooting so far this season. Anyway, all in all, a very positive game for the Bulls. Hopefully, this kind of jolts their confidence a bit, gets the team morale back up again, because they've got the Suns next, and then they're off for quite a few days between Wednesday and Sunday. A big home stretch with a game in Milwaukee in between. This is a chance to really try and make some headway in the standings and shake off that early season rust. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the game. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.